Our main objections in the DP plan, which we are going to submit now shortly and which we have discussed with the residents, is first of all, number one is the widening of roads. We don't want any widening of roads in the Gaothans. Not only Pali Gaotan, but in all Gaothans in Mumbai. Because they are the old residential areas of the early inhabitants or the first inhabitants in Mumbai city.
And their heritage structures.
Yeah, now their heritage structures without the specific okay of the heritage committee, you cannot change the environment, existing environment in the Gaothans. That is point number one. So no road widening should be done. Number two, all Gaothans must be mapped in the DP plan very, very clearly.
Which ones are not? Could you say?
None of them we can see. Almost all are not mapped. At least they're not reflecting on the Gaothans, whether they've got some superimposed, what you call ink. Now, that is the next point. The heritage, tag has been given to Gaothans as the heritage precinct. You follow? The reason is that these establishments or these residential areas have to be preserved for their old heritage, their culture, etc. Then we learned that they want to tag the Gaothans as slums. How do you classify as slum? Residents of Gaothans have their own property cards. We have our sanats. We have our property papers. We are the owners of the land. The land is ours. It's not even leased. We have sanats dating back to, maybe 100 years ago. Right? So we are legitimate owners of the land. You cannot classify as slums. So this is some vested interest. That when you have slums, you'll have SRA developments, you'll have cluster developments, you will refuse us permissions to repair our houses, to upgrade, you will not upgrade the infrastructure which is in existence and laid by the British hundreds of years ago, right? So that the area will get dilapidated. You will then say this is a slum, it is not habitable, people will be forced to sell, because these are the last vestiges of prime property and land available in the city. There are 189 Gaothans as per record, already 100 have disappeared. Where they have disappeared, they are not even there in the city maps. You follow? That is there. Then the next point is, we want residential tag for the Gaothans, residential only. We don't want commercial. Houses in the Gaothans should not get commercial activities. Then the next point that we have said is that Gaothans should have specific DC rules and regulations based on the proposals given by the Afzalpurkar committee. Afzalpurkar committee has given certain guidelines. Then there should be certain incentives given to Gaothans to maintain their properties, like rebate in taxes, house taxes. They should be given TDR, that is existing TDR which is almost consumed, minus the proposed TDR of at least 2.5, right? Which is based on heritage principles, heritage proposals and the specific DC Gaothan rules. The DC Gaothan rules, before they are framed on the guidelines of the Afzalpurkar committee report, should be in consultation with Gaothan committees, societies and residents of the Gaothan. These are the major points which we have put forward in our objections. I would suggest that the other Gaothan associations should also make their suggestions and objections, suggestions and proposals to the proposed development plan on the same guidelines as we have done in our Pali Gaotan.
Before what date?
Before the 24th of April 2015. Because if you do not file your objections and get a stamped receipt for your letter, it will not hold good if we have to file a later PIL on this issue.